in this particular lecture, we are going to see that how we can set up the community and the community users. So let us start by setting up the community. So let me go ahead and log in to my org. So I will navigate to login.salesforce.com and I will use my username and password. So once we hit the login button, we will be logged in to our Omni Studio org. So now we have to go ahead and type digital experiences in the quick find box. So you can see that we have an option called settings here. So click on it. So this is since the first time we are logging into the portal and setting up the community, we need to enable the digital experiences. So check this particular checkbox and click on save. So click on this button, OK. So now you can see that we have got a green color success message, which clearly says that you can now create new experience cloud sites. So the community or the experience cloud is where our portal, our Omni Studio portal is going to be hosted. So now we need to go to all sites and create new sites. So I will type all sites in the quick find box and click on it, and you can see that here we have a button called new, so which will allow us basically to create our portal. So let me hit on new. So now we need to choose our template and the URL and the name of our site. So let me go ahead and select some template. So I will choose this one, customer service, for now, and click on this blue button which says get started. So we have to give the name for our community. So I will give the name as Green Energy Portal, and the URL would be something very much similar. So now I will hit this blue color button, create. So meanwhile this community is getting created, I will create a custom profile, and this custom profile will be assigned to the end users who will access this particular community. So let us go ahead and do that. So I will duplicate this tab and I will click on back to setup button in this particular new tab, and I will go ahead to profiles. So I will click on this profile section here, and I will go to a standard profile which is called customer community login user, this one. So I will clone this particular standard profile to create a custom profile. So I will hit the clone button, and now we have to give a name for our profile. So we can give any name. I will say Green Energy Profile, and now I will hit the save button. So you can see that we have created a custom profile whose name is Green Energy Profile, and this is cloned from the standard profile customer community login user, right? Now let's go back to our community. So you can see that we are getting a toast message, site was created. So let's add this custom profile to this community. So I will go ahead to administration, and here you can see there are so many options on the left side. So I will click on this members tab, and here if we choose all under the profiles, so we will be able to find our new custom profile. So you can see green energy profile is coming here. So I will add it so that this profile has access to the community. This is one thing. Also under the permission sets, I will give access to this particular permission set, which is Omni Studio post install step. So this basically permission set allows the users to access the Omni Studio components. So I will add it, and I will hit the save button. So now I will go ahead on the settings tab, and I will activate this community. So I will hit the activate button and click on OK. So now you can see that the status has turned to active. So after making the community active, we have to also publish it. So let us click on this gear icon and navigate to builder. So once the experience builder loads, we have to click on the publish button for now and publish the site. Now, since we have understood that how we can set up the community, let us try to understand that how we have to set up the community users. So, in the previous lecture, we saw that in order to store the information of the companies which require the electricity, we need an account object, right? So, for an example, the information of the automobile company will be stored in the account object in Salesforce. Now, the next thing is that this automobile company had two distinct offices in two distinct cities, and there were point of contacts designated for each of the offices which will use the portal, right? So let us say Mr. Pat is the contact for office A and Mr. Bob is the contact for office B. Now understand that there will also be users in Salesforce who will be associated with the contacts, right? So if we have to transform these normal users into community users so that these users have access to the community where our Omni Studio portal will be hosted, we have to ensure two things. Number one thing is that the account owner must have a role. And the second thing is that these users should have a proper profile assigned to them. So it means simply that to set up the community users, we need to ensure two things. One is that the account owner must have a proper role. And the second thing is that the user must have a proper profile assigned to them. So now let me go ahead and show you how to practically create a community user. So I will navigate to setup by clicking on this setup button here, and I will switch to Lightning Experience. So now I will click on the app launcher and type accounts here, and I will click on this accounts link. So now we have to basically click on this button new here in order to make a new account. And as we know that the account name is a mandatory field, so I will fill this field, and let us assume that I am making an account for the automobile company. So I'm going to say the best automobile company, and I'm going to hit the save button now. So the account is created. So now I will create the contact. So under the related tab, we have contacts option. So I will hit new here. And as we know that last name is a required or a mandatory field for contact. So I'm going to say here Mr. Pat. So let me fill that. And also I'm going to select the mailing street and the mailing city for the office location. So I'm going to say East Delhi here, and the mailing city will be, let's say, Delhi. Now I will also fill up the email address here correctly. So let me fill it. So we are now done with all the basic information. So let's go ahead and save it for now. Now, if you remember, there were two conditions for Mr. Pat to be a community user. One was that the account owner must have a role assigned to it, and the second one was that the user should have a proper profile assigned to it. So, let me first of all navigate to the account of Mr. Pat, which in this case is the best automobile company. And here under the details tab, you can see that we have the account owner. So let me open it in a new tab. So here we have a user detail button, and if we click on it, we will be navigated to the user detail page. Now here we have an option for role, but it is blank. So let us edit it. I will select the role as CEO and save it. So now the account owner, which in this case is the system admin user, has a role assigned to it. Now the next thing is that the Mr. Pat user should have a proper profile assigned to it. So guys, now we have to switch to classic because that button comes only in Salesforce classic. So we need to go to Mr. Pat contact, and we have to navigate to this particular button, enable customer user. So once you click on this particular button, you would be able to see an option to set the profile for the Mr. Pat user, which we are now enabling or creating. So let us select the license as customer community login, and here we will be able to see our profile which we had earlier added to our community, which is the green energy custom profile. So let me assign this profile to Mr. Pat user and ensure that the email address is absolutely correct, because this is here where you are going to get the email with which you will be able to log into the portal for the first time. So let me save it. So now we have successfully created a community user. Now let me quickly navigate to this particular email address. So now guys, you can see that I have got an email here which says welcome to Green Energy Portal. So let me click on it. And here you can see that I have received a link to set my password. So let me now click on this link. And here we have to set our first time password. Once you have done this, click on this button, change password. And now Mr. Pat is successfully logged in